What it is? How's it going, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about the actors and writers strike. We're going to give you a full breakdown of what the actors got, what the writers got, and also talking about what the future might hold, and more importantly, what's going to be the future of this podcast even, because as you know, we've been standing in solidarity with our brothers and sisters on the picket line. So what's going to be the future of this podcast? Only one way to find out, and that's to sit back, relax, grab a snack, grab a beverage, and listen on in to the first ones to die.
Hey everyone, welcome to the First Ones to Die podcast.
You can't just jump in like that. You need to give us a minute to settle down.
Where was that long smile you usually do?
Jonathan's too tired for that. He's like, I'm trying to get this done. Look, goddammit, it's too late in the night for this. It's 9:30. We trying to go to sleep.
I got no long smile warning or anything.
I wanted to catch y'all slipping. And I did.
This is all staying in. Keep going.
Oh, Lord.
Welcome to the First Ones to Die podcast. As you can tell, we are not our usual selves right now because we're recording at a little bit of a later time. So don't be surprised if during this episode we act a little goofy. But my name is Jonathan. You're listening to / watching the First Ones to Die podcast. I'm here with my lovely co-hosts, Alex and Jerome. How are y'all doing? Jerome, how you doing?
Doing good. Jonathan, like you should tell the people what you're up to when you do your update, because I made a big deal about you being back this week and stuff last week. So let's.
Well, I can't reveal some of the reason.
No. I'm not saying give them the details. I'm just saying let them know you were okay and in good spirits.
Oh, okay.
But no, my week is
good. And see him now.
Yeah,
hear him on the platform. See him on YouTube.
But I had a regular week. It's been fun. I've been doing just a lot of work. Getting ready for some stuff, getting ready for Thanksgiving. Turkey Day is coming up, y'all. So go ahead, hit the grocery stores now, because the last thing you want to be doing is last minute Thanksgiving shopping on Thanksgiving. Because what's going to happen is you're going to want a special thing. Then you're going to go to the grocery store. They're not going to have that no more because it's sold out. You don't want that. So go to the grocery stores now while you still got the chance. Get your turkey ready. Or if you don't do turkey, I don't know, get like your tofurkey or something. I don't know, like, if you're vegan, because I don't know what my girlfriend eats on Thanksgiving, to be quite honest. Actually, we never ran into that.
But this is like the second Thanksgiving, technically.
Yeah, but I was out of town for Thanksgiving last year, so this was my first year.
Would that be a question? What do you eat?
I mean, that's true. We'll figure it out. Like, it's okay. Anyway, and also I'm excited. We'll get into it later, but I've been watching a lot of TV and stuff. We're now able to open the floodgates back to talking about television and TV and movies and things. And I've been excited to talk about how good Loki is. If you're not watching it, watch it now. It's good. Although the person who's dominating the sphere, Amazon, for some reason, Gen V and Invincible,
Amazon
both are
the person.
Yes, Amazon the person. No, Amazon the company out here killing it in the entertainment field right now.
I keep forgetting that Invincible came out because all of a sudden I randomly saw Invincible out now on Amazon. I'm like, whoa, I wasn't expecting it until like months from now, but I guess it's out.
Yeah. So yeah, I've just been enjoying a lot of TV and stuff. Life is good. And that's it.
Nice.
Alex, what you been up to?
I have to go do something real quick, actually. So, Jonathan, tell us how you're doing. Sorry, I have to go take care of something.
I am good. As Jerome alluded to, I am good, and safe and sound. Um, I had to prepare for something exciting, kind of exciting. Yeah, it's pretty exciting. Yeah, very exciting, I would say, at work. Um, that will, as I also alluded to, can't talk about yet, but it will be revealed in due time. Um, also got a new car because someone ran into me months ago, but finally got a new car. So
How many miles it's
that was
got on
fun.
it?
A little under 40,000.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah.
Good. When I got my new car, it had about like 60 something thousand on it.
Okay.
And it was a 2015, so that plenty of time to rack them up.
Right. And that's been the majority of my week. Those two things. So yeah, but it's been good. I've been on my reality TV kick lately because there are still so many reality TV shows that I watch that um, have been going on. Big Brother just ended. The finale was on Thursday after 100 days of those people spending time in that house. A winner has been
Did
crowned.
our the pastor sister win?
She came in fourth. She came in fourth.
Ah,
So yeah, she
gotcha.
got evicted on Tuesday. On was it Tuesday? Sunday. No, she got evicted on Sunday. So she made it like 96 days.
Well, hey, that's not bad. Not
Yeah.
bad.
She made it a while. And she was like a fan favorite too, because like everybody loved her and she was hilarious. And yeah, I can see her doing something else in the future.
Hey, listen, there's a lot of people who've turned reality TV show like fame. In fact, you know who I think is easily probably one of the most successful people off reality TV show, turned it into a full-on career. Jamie Chung, who was in
Mm,
Real World uh back in like 2000 something, and turned that into a whole acting career where she's now been in like big budget movies and stuff. So it's possible.
it
It's
happens.
doable.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree.
Yeah. And also congratulations, even though I wasn't rooting for him, especially in the last uh part of the season. The first part I was, last part I was not. He got a little bit too arrogant for me. But congrats to him anyways. To Jag. He is the first Sikh Punjabi person to be on Big Brother, and he won. So congrats to him. Yeah, he had a good run.
Nice.
Now, Alex.
So now
Alex. I was like, why are you
for a second.
there's like a long pause there.
Well, like I didn't know how far along the conversation was. I'm fine. I'm doing okay. Nothing too exciting this week. I finally got quarters to do laundry that I've been putting off for 2 weeks now, but I'm officially out of a lot of things where it's like the laundry wins. I need to do it. I don't wanna, but it wins. And other than that, work's been pretty fine, other than the mishap of now accidentally getting a couple coworkers to try to set me up on dates because I make too many jokes. I'm too sarcastic. I was talking to my mom about this at work. One of my coworkers couldn't tell if I was being sarcastic about being sarcastic. And I had to be like, no, I'm not being sarcastic. And they're like, okay, but the way you said that right now kind of sounded like you were being sarcastic. I'm like, I was being sarcastic at the beginning, but I swear right now I'm not. I could hear myself do it. And I'm like, okay. I think sometimes my sarcasm, I have no control over it. And I even confuse myself, but I felt bad for the coworker and I had to be like, I promise you, just go do this. We're fine. Go away from me now. I couldn't say the last part because hostile work environment, but I wanted to. I wish that was a normal thing in offices. The one thing I like about the office I have, the coworkers I have with, a lot of them are really cool and they've known me for a while now. So they know that when I'm like, go away, they know I mean it with love. not saying go away or shut up to be mean. Or some of them are still like, I barely know these people, and some are just, even if I know them, they're kind of the sensitive type. I can't tell them that, which makes it really hard for me to be around them. When I can't be
Mm,
playfully mean to you, I don't know how to interact with you too much. Which I don't know if that does say something about me. But I don't want to go back to therapy, so I'm not going to deal with that. I'm just going to avoid people instead. So that's my week.
nice.
What are we talking about
Well,
this week? I feel like what?
well, well, as you may have noticed, we've been a little bit more carefree with our mentioning of movies and television shows, and just even our recaps of our weeks. And you want to tell us a little bit more about that, Jerome?
Oh, well, yeah. The actors and writer strike are over. Well, the writer strike ended like a month ago,
Like a
but the
month ago.
actors strike just ended this past Friday. So we have the terms here of both strikes. So that way we can give, for those who don't remember what the WGA's terms are, we'll give you a recap on that, and then also give you a recap on what's going on with the actors and things as well. For those who don't know, the major things that were holding them back were definitely for I would say for both parties, but in different ways, was residuals and AI in regards to residuals in regards to streaming specifically, AI in regards to just career in general. Um, and so both of them, I think I would say both of them, I think, got a pretty solid deal. I'm reading this WGA article, or this article, this WGA thing from Vox, and I'll read some of the terms of the agreement for the WGA first, so we can get through that. Um, like if this has it on here, I think it does. It does not really. Okay, well then we'll do the actors first. It's hard to find because it's like there's so many different articles of like this is the update on the writer's strike, or here's the agreement from the writer's strike, or whatever. So here we go. So here's a updated agreement for the actors for sure, and then we'll get into the WGA in a second. But here we go. So first of all, to account for inflation, SAG-AFTRA officially demanded an 11% general wage increase for the first year of the contract in July. The Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers countered with a maximum offer of a 5% increase. The new contract compromised with a 7% increase in general wages effective immediately, with future increases in 2024 and 2025. The total package includes more than $1 billion in new wages and benefit plan funding. SAG-AFTRA also secured consent and compensation guardrails on the use of AI. Under the new contract's rules, a studio must obtain an actor's informed consent before creating or using a digital replica of a performer, whether they're an A-list star or a background actor. Crabtree Ireland told reporters that AI was one of the most divisive issues in the negotiating room, particularly with regards to generative AI or the creation of an entirely synthetic performer. Uh, as for streaming residuals, the AMPTP had essentially rejected all of SAG-AFTRA's proposals in initial negotiations. The new contract establishes a streaming participation bonus for the first time, compensating performers in addition to traditional residuals. Other ones include improved relocation benefits, regulations on self-taped auditions, and increased residuals for stunt performers. So that's pretty much like the general rundown on the actor side of things.
I'm
Now,
glad they
For
involved stunt performers too.
oh
yes,
yeah,
They
hmm
definitely
for
deserve to be compensated.
for me, one of the ones that hits home the most as an actor is the self tape regulations. Now I follow, or I don't like, I come across a lot of people on TikTok and Instagram Reels who are either casting directors or acting coaches, and they always give tips about self tapes. And I'm interested to see those self tape regulations. I'd heard a few that were proposed I think months ago, um, and I think that's it. Self tapes are one of those things that need to be regulated because when you go to a normal audition. Like say you get the sides, you get the address, you get the time, you get the day, you drive to the audition, you do the audition, and then you leave. With self tapes, sometimes it's a double edged sword because with the self tapes, you usually don't get that quick of a turnaround time. A lot of times it's 24 hours from now, sometimes less, which I think was one of the regulations. You can't have less than a 24-hour turnaround time. It's a really quick turnaround time. You have to direct yourself. You have to record yourself. You have to be the cinematographer. You have to be the sound editor. You have to be the editor. You have to uh, learn the lines. So it's really so much work for something that you may not even get or hear back from the casting director ever. So it's a lot of work for sometimes little to no payoff. So I think that really needs to be regulated because it's almost a job in and of itself that gets no pay at all. I've spent hours sometimes on a self tape. Sometimes there's been self tapes where they're like, you need to memorize this script, and I'm like, why am I memorizing it if you're not paying me and don't know if I'm going to get the role? So I'm glad those regulations will be in place.
So when self tapes, can you expand on that like a little bit more? Or I'm trying to envision it because I kind of still picture like when you get called in for like to try to get cast for the part. You're kind of just in a room with the producers or stuff reading off the script. With the self tapes, is it a little more like you can't have the script on screen? You have to have something a little more intense to it.
Well, self-tape, so usually how like the process is um you or your agent will submit you for a part and then you'll get a notification saying, "Hey, submit this self-tape." Or and that's the first step. And then if they are still interested after seeing your self-tape, sometimes they'll either book you for a role or they'll call you in again for a callback. uh Usually kind of like unspoken thing is that you're not, or sometimes spoken is that you're not required to learn the script, like especially if it's a quick turnaround time and it's a lot of pages, you're not required to memorize the script piece by piece. It's good to have like lines here and there memorized. That way you're not looking down at the page or looking at your computer the whole time, but you're usually not required to memorize the script. If someone does ask you to memorize a script, then it's wild, especially if it's a long script. Um, but I've heard of a lot of actors who use teleprompters, who use like yeah, different ways to make it look like you've learned lines, but you're actually just reading off the page.
That's fair.
And yeah, and I was talking with someone about this. Like, it's hard because they could say like, yeah, you're not required to memorize this script, and we're putting in regulations that you don't have to memorize the script, but who's to say that's going to be regulated? Who's to say that they won't just pick the person who did actually memorize the script? Who's to say that they're not just going to cast the person who actually did memorize the script? And who's to say now actors are going to be more inclined to memorize the script because they're like, ooh, nobody else is going to be memorizing the script, so I'll memorize the script. I'll get an edge on everybody else.
Like
So
those overachievers in class.
right,
They're like, I'm going to do this. I was like, really?
right.
Okay, so to
it's
piggyback off of
tough.
that, I have a better breakdown of the actually what the terms of the deal is. So it says here, this is from Deadline. But this is the agreement. Is meaningful protections for the casting process have been established, including provisions specifying that breakdowns, sides, and/or scripts shall be provided no less than 48 hours prior to the submission deadline, excluding
Okay,
weekends and holidays. This is increased to 72 hours for minors. Talent may not be asked to perform more than 8 industry standard pages for a first self tape or 12 industry standard pages for a second or subsequent callback. Additionally, Additionally, if memorization is required, performers will be entitled to compensation, and performers may not
Yes.
be requested to appear nude or while wearing attire more revealing than a bathing suit that could be worn at a public pool. Producers must also provide opportunities to interview virtually or in person on a first come, first served basis with accommodations for performers with disabilities, senior performers, and minors. So that overall, that's a good deal for like those who are definitely starting out or just auditioning in general and doing the auditions, because I know that's like in the acting world, that's one of the most stressful things that is the audition circuit of trying to get jobs in general.
Yeah, there is literally the art of acting and the art of auditioning are two completely separate things. You can be an amazing actor, but you can be horrible at auditioning.
That's we spent all that time telling people you are okay, that you're in good health and everything. You go do us like this.
I don't know what happened. I'm sorry. I just got
the air's dry.
They are in LA. Air is dry over there.
Right. Anyway, I love how y'all were just like staring.
Yeah, we really just sat there for a second.
What are we gonna do, Jonathan? Don't worry, I'm on a flight tomorrow. Make sure you stop coughing. I'm coming over.
We recall apparently you are coming this week to see him.
That's true. You can see how I'm doing. But I took a COVID test today, so there's no COVID in this house. It was just the air choked me for a second.
Oh, so side story. I got the new COVID vaccine, and then I also got a Tdap in the same day on my arm. I felt like I couldn't move the arm. It felt like this whole area just turned to solid mass, and I was like, my arm has never felt heavier. She was like, "Oh, you should get one in each arm, make it easier." I'm like, "No, I move this arm a lot. It helps work out everything, keeps the muscles move." I regret it. I should listen to your nurses. When the nurses make a recommendation, respect the nurses, listen to them. They're another ones who need, more raises. Speaking of unions, so they need a raise.
Right.
Patients not listening to anything they say, but
they do.
What else? Is there anything that's saying about the pay increments though? Because I know.
Yes, I was just about to get to that. Yeah, actually,
the streaming thing was a big issue.
So there's a couple. So firstly, there's the top of it deals with, and the first two paragraphs deal with the wages for both just in general wage increases, but then also specifically wage increases for background actors. So the first paragraph here says the agreement includes an unprecedented wage pattern with 2 wage increases in the first year of the contract, 7% upon ratification, and another 4% increase effective July 2024, making a compounded first year increase of 11.28%. This will be another 3.5% increase effective July 2025. This package breaks the so-called industry pattern. And wages for background actors will increase 11% effective November 12th, 2023. So literally tomorrow. Well, tomorrow at the time of this recording, but like on that Sunday, and then by an additional 4% effective July 1st, 2024, and by another 3.5% effective July 1st, 2025. And in a monumental breakthrough for the first time ever, the number of covered positions in the West Coast zones will equal those of the East Coast zones. This is projected to add almost 11,000 new covered background work days annually. So they get more time, but more time to work, which is good because, more job security, but also they get higher amounts of pay for those days, which is also good.
This actually sounds like a pretty decent deal.
Mm-hmm. And then in regards, you were talking about streaming residuals. That is... here we go. The union achieved the creation of a new compensation stream for performers working in streaming. It provides a substantial bonus on top of existing residual structures, making work and streaming more substantial for middle-class actors. The majority of that compensation will be paid to actors on programs meeting certain viewership requirements. The remaining money will be distributed to other actors working on those streaming platforms through a new jointly trustee distribution fund. This ensures improved compensation and sustainability for a wider range of actors contributing to the success of those platforms. The agreement also adds fixed residuals for stunt coordinators working on television and new media productions. Also, there's a thing for hair and makeup, apparently. The contract achieved important gains for hair and makeup equity, the sharing of aggregate diversity statistics, eliminating inappropriate wiggings and paint downs, gender neutral language, access to gender affirming care, and translation services. It also provides more sexual harassment prevention protections for performers, including the use of intimacy coordinators in scenes involving nudity and simulated sex, or upon request, and additional safeguards for background.
What do you
because
mean?
I know.
They think they mean by inappropriate wigs.
Well, I know.
So
There's.
well, go ahead, Jonathan.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I know that it's been like a topic of discussion for many years, especially in recent years, about how there's not access to diverse hair and makeup people on sets, especially like when you're dealing with Black and brown people who have different textured hair, and when they go on a set, a lot of times, sometimes they'll have to do their hair before they have to come to set.
Yeah, I mean, look, do you remember what Michael Ealy looked like in The Girl in the House across the street from the whatever? Okay, his hair, like, it looked like they took a brownie pan like cutter and tried to scrape his hairline up. Okay,
are you trying to kill Jonathan
again? For real?
Look, I'm just saying they did that brother wrong, and he is one of the most handsome Black actors we have, and they fucked his hairline all the way up, took his shit back like an 80s slow jam. How dare they do that to him?
Well, that I knew, because I remember, I think it was the only Black actress on the originals, one of the vampire shows. She would talk about how she would come in early to do her own hair because the hairdressers didn't know how to work with Black actors' hair. There wasn't enough Black actors on stage to warrant getting one, as so they say. Mm-hmm. I was just thinking of like inappropriate wigs. I was like, what kind of... I understand that, but I guess that does fall in line with having, different style or diverse hair, not knowing how to put wigs on them properly either, and probably doing damage that way as well.
Yeah. I mean, hey, listen, I respect the brother. I respect his hustle, but look no further than any most recent Tyler Perry movie if you want to see inappropriate wiggings, because that hair is bad. I don't know where he be getting these wigs from, but he needs, like, I understand you're trying to save on budget because you got a whole studio you run and you make a bunch of shows, whatever. Allocate some damn budget to these wigs because they be looking jacked up a lot.
Well,
he pays good money for the Medea wigs.
Well, remember he had that one show that famously he shot like 22 episodes in 6 days. In that amount of time, you ain't got time to be fixing people's wigs. You ain't got time.
First of all, you shouldn't be filming 22 episodes in 6 days.
Yeah, what the hell?
That's asinine.
That's asinine. Talk about asinine.
No, asinine is not the right word. That's ridiculous. That's the word. That's the right word.
I'm like, he's got Medea's wigs down, but he probably has his own private collection going on.
But yeah, so the actors made out pretty good. I'm glad. My biggest thing is because, in case you don't know, basically the last, and again, I put in quotations, best and final offer from the AMPTP in regards to AI was, with AI, it will give us full autonomy to be able to use your likeness without compensation, including also of deceased families, without any permissions as well. To which I'm like, are you out your goddamn mind? You expect them to give up like not only the choice to be to have their like likeness used, but also the estates. Like if they pass away, an actor passes away, their estate doesn't even have the authority to give permissions on if you're using an AI generated version of their family member.
That actually reminds me of a Simpsons episode where they did that, where they're like, "Oh yeah, dead people don't have any rights." So Homer was killing a bunch of actors to use their likeness, in commercials and things like that to hawk products. And that's where I felt like it was going towards, like, oh yeah, we want you not necessarily for movies, but for advertising, for commercials, for promotions and things like that. And I felt like that's how it was going to lead to eventually, because movies can be one of my favorite things on TikToks is or one of my favorite things that I see on TikToks is when people point out the blatant product placement in movies.
Oh, there's some bad ones.
There are some horrible ones. Well, anytime anybody drinks soda, nobody's drinking soda like this.
Well, hey, listen, Michael Bay is the worst of it. I'll never forget the time he made the Bud Light Transformer in Transformers, shooting Bud Light cans everywhere. And then Mark Wahlberg cracks open a Bud Light. And it's just like, look,
I could see a Michael Bay character doing that. No, the one that now takes the top tier is Toyota in the Barbie movie. There's straight up 3 minutes of that car just full focal. That's a straight up commercial. It's a commercial because they even have like 2 Toyotas in back going separate. All of them are 3 different cars showing in 3 different colors. You come inside the car, you're seeing all the nice little features. They just shoved a straight up commercial into that movie. No shame whatsoever.
Listen, I'm just saying. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, it was even worse. It was 19 episodes in 4 days of Tyler Perry's Bruh.
Oh, it got worse. Okay.
Yeah. That is terrible.
What
you
show
know how
was
hard
this?
it is just to do 2 episodes in 4 days? Depending on the show, of course. Like, that's a lot.
It's called Bruh. And this was...
Bruh.
And this
oh my God. Real?
This was September 2020. So we're already in a pandemic. Midst of a pandemic.
Maybe that's why he did it in 4 days. He didn't want people on set for much longer than that.
That doesn't make it better. That made it worse, I feel like.
That's terrible. No. That's not enough time. That's not enough time to get really anything done with like high quality. You know what I mean?
Right. I want to watch an episode of this just to see how low
just
budget
to see if it looks bad.
Right.
It's called Bruh.
That should tell you alone like what the show is gonna look and feel like before you even turn on an episode.
It's not even like bro or brother. It's BRUH, right? Yeah, it's bruh. I don't know other than white college dudes. I don't know who says that at all.
No, black people still say bruh.
Do you say bruh?
Black people, yes, in general, not just me.
Yeah, well, I meant
still say it.
You as in the group, yes.
Yeah,
I was requiring as you to speak for your people.
Yes, as the representative of the black delegation.
That's wild.
Really, I honest to God have not heard at least I've not heard a black person say "bro." I've genuinely only heard it from like college students, guys.
We started it. The black populace started that. White people appropriated it.
Bruh.
Of course. Bruh. That's not in question. Absolutely.
Remember, have you seen that, like the meme of the girl who's on the exercise bike and she's drinking the water and she's like, bruh. And
oh yeah.
Like people use that as like, I'm exhausted. Like
that's what I'm saying. It's not a question that like black people or people of color have started something and white people appropriate it. Absolutely. I'm saying if y'all still use it because the white people have taken it over.
I think so.
That's what, it's more that's the question in hand. You know what? People of color, although white people like taking stuff more from black people than a lot of other cultures, Black people need to go back into being pop punk because I want to hear pop punk bands again. But the movie,
I mean, they still exist.
No, they still exist, but they're not as good. They're not as good as they used to be. I miss the pop punk genre.
Well, it's because they like most of them have evolved. Like Paramore had their pop punk phase, but then they're like, pop punk isn't popular anymore, so we're changing our sound up and doing. And also, the bands rotated out like people for a long time, but also. Like Panic at the Disco. Now Panic at the Disco is the only one trying to keep it alive.
No, they finally
like, we're gonna keep doing this.
Brendan Urie finally announced he's like, yeah, Panic at the Disco's over. We're like, one, we didn't know you were still a thing, and two, you're the only one of the original band. Who are you announcing this to?
I just love the idea of like Panic at the Disco's over. I'm sorry, who? So it's like, you know, us.
Yeah, I looked up
my band.
Gym Class Heroes.
Yeah, no, they've been dead for a long time. Not literally, just the
they're
band.
They're still touring though. They haven't put out. Yeah, no, they haven't put out a new album since 2011. I looked this up recently.
Wow.
They haven't put out. They've done their separate projects, come back and done little tours, separated. Their career is not funny, but it's so interesting. Because they're living off their album from 2011, but they are still a known band and still selling tickets for tours.
Listen, freaking Return of the Mac guy, all right, has been living off of that song for a decade.
That's true.
Because it's a classic. Mark Morrison has been living off of that song for classic.
I was about to say, you will call out Mark Morrison by name.
Yeah, no, I know his name.
Use his name.
I'll put some respect on his name, but still, I'm just saying, because it's a damn jam. Okay, that song will forever be classic, and the man did a great job singing on it. He don't need to put out anything else, because that's all you need.
He is British.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
He is?
I did not know that.
When? I don't think. Have I never heard him talk?
I guess.
Return of the Mac. Return of the Mac.
I'm genuinely.
He was born in. I'm sorry to the whole of England. He was born in.
They've done enough.
Leicestershire.
Yeah, I think the American pronunciation is Lancaster.
But wow, I did not know he was British.
I feel like it's been so long since I've heard him talk, or I just have not ever heard him actually just say words, not singing, that I don't think I've ever heard an accent from him.
He's on the list of one-hit wonders.
Oh, of course.
For Wikipedia. Mm-hmm. That list also includes. Hold on.
Jesse's Girl? That was a one-hit wonder.
Bruce Springsteen has other songs.
Oh,
that's Bruce Springsteen, right?
I actually forgot who sang Jesse's Girl. I was just thinking of the song.
But it also includes.
Is that
Alex?
I don't know
Claire,
why I said Bruce Springsteen. That's Rick Springfield. I'm so stupid.
Thank you. I was like, it's not him. That is a one-hit wonder.
I had the spring part. That was correct. I knew spring was in there.
Icona Pop. I love it. Bauer Harlem Shake.
I was just listening to that song earlier. I love it.
What? Hosier Take Me to Church?
He's drink a vodka soda.
I mean, Hosier has made plenty of music. Do you know any other song as well as you know?
I listen to yeah.
Well, you're a Hosier
names. I'm just bad with names. It doesn't count for me. I got a terrible memory. But I was listening to all his music just yesterday too.
Okay, this has Mark Ronson on here, Uptown Funk.
I feel like that's not fair because he also made the remix for Valerie. He made
and he just made the Barbie one with Dua Lipa.
Okay, well that's new, so that's got to take time to circulate before they start.
But it's been on the charts. It's been a hit.
It has been.
But it's still that movie came out this year. They were talking about a Wikipedia article. That means it's got to take time for somebody to go up there and update.
Whatever. Anyway,
No, listen, I don't think Mark
there.
Ronson deserves to be up there because also, if they're including Uptown Funk, they didn't include Mystical's song also from that same album.
what is Mystical song?
Yeah, I haven't heard that one.
No, that's not the name of the song. Mystical, the artist, is on the song.
Oh,
Dang it, what's it called? The one where he's like, I feel right in this mother. Yeah, I feel good in this mother. Like, you know what I mean? That song.
I've never heard that in my
You don't
life.
know that song? That's like the second hit from that album.
apparently not that big of a hit.
Also, someone named T Wayne is on here. I thought it said T Pain. I'm like, I know they did not put T Pain on this list.
How dare
But
they
it's
disrespect him like
T-Wayne.
that?
Or actually, the song is called "Feel Right." Yeah, featuring Mystical by Mark Ronson. I'm sure if I played it, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, that song." Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, that's not really a one-hit wonder then.
He's not a one-hit wonder. That's why he don't belong on that list.
Well, no, that's not a one-hit wonder. That's not a hit wonder, I guess. If you have to listen to it and be like, "Oh yeah, it's songs you should just know."
No, I'm saying Mark Ronson doesn't belong on that list of being a one-hit wonder artist. He has other songs.
He's not on
have
that
become
list.
popular.
My Neck, My Back is on here.
Okay, that one, yeah.
that song came out in 2002.
No.
I thought
yeah,
it was way
that
more
song's old
than that.
No, that song is. I remember listening to that when I was a kid because one of my cousins put it on, and they thought it would be funny. And it was just me and them in the car by ourselves. No parents around.
Oh, I gotta send you guys this one TikTok where it's this woman pretending to be like NPR, but in the future, and she's using I think it's the Get Low song. Where she's talking about how they talk about classical music on there. It's like
get low.
different song. No. What's the one called To the Windows, to the Walls?
That's the same song I was just saying.
Oh, the tune you use sounds different than the tune up here, but I'm also a little tune deaf. So that might be more on me. Where she's good.
I was just gonna say, I wonder what the point when you are officially considered a one-hit wonder, like when is the point it's like, okay, yeah, he ain't coming up with anything else.
I think it's a mixture of factors. It's not only like when it's just been enough time has passed and you haven't put out anything substantial for a few years, but also how popular that song was, that even if you have put out music, nothing has come close
never gonna reach
to hitting that one song you made.
Like Vanilla Ice.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Vanilla Ice still made music, but none of it was as popular as Ice Ice Baby. Like that was the pinnacle for him.
Because Macy Gray is on here too. And
Macy Gray has tons of music.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it makes sense because her big hit was I Try.
Mm-hmm.
But Baha Men are on here, and I disagree with that because they had that one song, that other song that
they had that one song.
I don't know what's the fact you can't even remember the name proves the point.
No,
all right. Who Let the Dogs Out is their only jam.
They had Who Let the Dogs Out. What was the name of the other song? Move It Like This. That's Can You Move It Like This? I Can Shake It Like that one. Remember?
I do remember it, but it still wasn't as popular as Who Let the Dogs Out.
Alex, don't do this.
It's a little again. I don't remember things very well, so can't. Cisco, is Cisco considered a one-hit wonder? Because all I know him is his song.
Probably, yeah. That's it.
I
mean, he was in a boy band before that, but
was he? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I forget what the name of the band was. Like R&B, it was an R&B group back then.
I mean, he kind of made the right choice going solo. So
Cisco is not on this list.
Really?
Yeah.
Probably because they forgot about Cisco. It's just like,
dang,
everybody's forgotten about Cisco.
Be forgotten on the one-hit wonders list.
This man's name is Mark Andrews.
Cisco?
Yeah.
I love
although his middle name throws you off, Althavan. I'm not joking. It is spelled Althavan. Mark Althavan Andrews.
It sounds like you have a lisp when you're saying Alvin. Althavan. Althavan. I have to stick out my tongue to say that, even close to it. Like, this is not me being comedic. My tongue's coming out.
That's where he was from. I was like, I knew he was in a boy band. Drew Hill. He was part of Drew Hill. That's right. I was like, I know he's part of somebody like a big group, but I just couldn't remember the name for the life of me just now. But Drew Hill, yeah.
They probably on this list.
In My Bed. Yeah, that's one of the best ones.
In My Bed.
I can't sing it, but I know the song. In my bed, like something like that. I don't know.
That was.
That's not it, but listen, I never claimed
was
to be
it
an R&B
who else was in Drew Hill? Someone else was in Drew Hill.
I'm trying to drink water.
Who was in Drew Hill? Wasn't oh, never mind. I guess not. What's his name? This Is How We Do It. Wasn't he in a group?
I know
Jordan.
the song. I can't remember the name. Montel Jordan.
Wasn't he in a group?
Maybe. I mean, I'm not seeing one on his Wikipedia page or nothing.
I guess not.
Yeah. He's like, I'm my own man. Anyway.
The musicians for movies and TV shows should probably start a union or get their deals looked at too. Because
I think they're technically a part of like whatever is the union for just music artists in general is what they're under.
Okay, good. Because I was like, I don't know if they have a union or not. People should really start getting into unions. Especially
unions,
for
how you say protected. Yeah.
Yeah, especially for careers such as that creative field. It's really hard to be protected in such a creative field when it's not a permanent job, but a job base. I've lost my words. A base to base. It's so different from each position you're going to. You need a baseline to protect yourselves and what you're doing for not only your, getting paid, but also your safety. I think a lot of the things people overlook in contracts too, like I mentioned with the stuntmen, I'm glad they're involved too, is your safety. Because I know from Harry Potter, the guy who was Harry Potter stuntman got, confined to a wheelchair.
Wow.
There's just so many stories like that. And you've seen from Keanu Reeves' movie John Wick. Yeah, everything their stuntmen are being put through.
Stuntmen have stunt people have died.
Yeah, I mean the girl who was the motorcycle driver for
Wonder Woman.
No, not just Wonder Woman. I was talking about Deadpool. I think it was Deadpool 2 passed away. She was like Zazie.
Oh yeah, that was Deadpool.
Stunt double. And that was a big thing for a while. Of just like
that also happened on The Walking Dead, right? Someone died.
I think so. It happens a lot more than you would think of like stunt performers who just like because accidents happen and it's a very risky job in general. I mean, you have to jump out of moving cars, jump off buildings, light yourself on fire, like and tons of things. Anything could go wrong. Just doing fire stunts alone is like I remember I was on the set. We did a fire stunt, and just the prep for that took hours of just like getting the clothes coated in enough gel, making sure it was layered enough so that it wouldn't burn. And then on top of that, the breath training of like, hey, when you're on fire, do not, especially if it's a full body burn, don't inhale at all. You got to hold your breath. So depending on how long that scene is, you might be running like a full, like short, like half a block on fire. You can't breathe because the second you do, you'll burn your lungs because you're inhaling fire. So it's like, it's a risky job. And that's just one stunt. There's tons of stunts and stuff that people do that's very risky and very dangerous. So they deserve to get paid and compensated for any injuries, any accidents that happen that aren't fatal, but are definitely life-changing. And just in general for what they do, because without them, a lot of action movies and adventure movies and sometimes even horror movies and stuff movies in general and TV in general would not look as good as it does, to this day.
So it was appreciated that they were placed into there as well because they do deserve to be on that same level, especially since they're taking a lot of bodily hits compared to like the actors. They're on screen most of the time, but behind the scenes, so much more comes into it than just the actors too. And it's nice that other parts were included, such as the hairdressers and everything like that as well, makeup and wardrobe. Because sometimes wardrobe doesn't get focused on enough too. because they're, out here trying to fix every little tear these actors are doing, or they're not getting the appropriate budget or not initiative, but like direction to work with people of color too, such as with the hairdressers, same with wardrobe. They're not understanding shapes, and they'll give people who may be a little bit curvier these ill-fitted clothings, and it's like all you had to do was take it in the size a little bit, allow that body to be shown those curves. It's okay. We know that actress has an ass. There's nothing wrong with that. You didn't have to put her in whatever that was.
Also, the best thing about the actor strike being over, Halloween is back on next year. No costume restrictions. Everybody can wear what they want to wear, and nobody has to feel bad about it.
That's true. It was, although I kind of assumed this Halloween was going to be all Barbies and Kens. Kind of like when Harley Quinn came out.
Yeah.
And everybody was her, different costumes. I expected that. But this year, I don't know if you guys saw all those like TikToks, Instagrams, all that stuff. People's Halloween costumes this year were so obscure and so unique. It was so cool to see. Like
Heidi Klum got help. She was a peacock.
Yeah. And there was this one girl who dressed up as a TikToker who ate the 48 oysters. Still, I don't know how you eat 48 oysters.
I don't know.
Crab cakes.
Whenever people dress as like other like internet celebrities, but they're like normal looking people, I'm just like, that's not a costume at that point. You just put on clothes that day.
I did a whole tray of oysters.
Through TikTok, I did see a lot of meme costumes. Like I saw a couple people dressed up as the hip hop lady, the white hip hop lady. This is hip hop. I saw people dressed up like her.
A couple who dressed up as Jim Carrey mask, and oh my goodness, what's her name? The blonde actress, the mask.
Cameron Diaz.
Thank you, Cameron Diaz.
That's still,
and he looked really good. It was insane.
Listen,
and they look so
Cameron
young.
Diaz's most fine. Like you want to talk
that was
about,
her very first movie, right?
That was her first movie, and she looked gorgeous. I remember that movie. Like when that movie came out, I was like, "Damn, who's this? She's new. She looked fine as hell."
You said that as a kid. Damn, who's this?
Well, I didn't have the words to say it that way, but I thought it.
I can see little Jerome like passing the screen with his little sippy cup, suddenly sitting down and putting it down, paying very close attention to the movie Mask with your little sippy cup.
I mean, it's true. Listen, Cameron Diaz, I don't know if it was the lighting or the makeup or whatever on that set, but Cameron Diaz has never looked like that again. Not in the sense that she hasn't looked beautiful again. I mean, literally the way they did her makeup specifically for that movie, she looked almost like a different person. Like she looked like more like femme fatale versus in other movies, she looks like a beautiful like model or something like that. It doesn't have that like noir, smoky, but maybe it also might be the costumes too, to be quite honest. But it's like the way they did her makeup in that movie, totally different than everything else she's ever been in. I didn't think. I'm just saying. No, listen, Cameron Diaz is beautiful no matter what. All right, she's living her best life, I'm sure. I don't know what the last thing she was in, but she's doing it. She's living her life.
She technically retired. And
did she?
Retired, okay. I think. Yeah.
But
speaking of retired. I'm just kidding.
What? I'm about to say, I don't know where we're going. Anyway,
last thing retired. Because we were talking earlier about celebrity deaths, so I was like, who's retiring now?
No.
Last thing we're hitting is just the WGA agreement, which we're not going to go over the whole thing like we did the actors, mostly because it's old. Like we.
Damn.
Well, no, listen, I'm a writer. No, I'm just saying, like, in the sense of like, for the sake of time, because we're trying to get out of here. But the main thing is just that they got a lot of great deals as well in the residuals department. They got a 5 to 4%, 3.5% for most minimums. Select residual bases and minimums get lower increases and or single increases is the tentative agreement they have so far. Also, I believe there's now an establishing minimum on who can be in the writer's room and things like that. I'm trying to just go through as quickly as I can because I don't want to take up too much of your time.
No.
Oh, Thought you were talking to me for a second. I was like, "What are you
No,
saying?" No,
I'm not even looking at you. No,
I
I'm
can't see
looking-
you. I can't see your screen, so I don't know
Oh.
what you're looking at.
No, I'm looking at the little menace who's eyeing my desk, but like all my shit and equipment's laid out, and I'm not like don't because he likes to stomp on my keyboards, and I got like 3 of them. I got too much up here right now, so just don't. You're so
Yeah,
handsome
so
though.
the main thing for like the writers is that there is an increase definitely in the world of residuals, but my best thing is the writers room minimums, where before it was minimum staff of 6 writers, including 4 writer producers, 1 writer per episode, or rather, this is what the writers were asking for. The 1 writer per episode up to 6 episodes, and then 1 additional writer required for each 2 episodes after 6, up to a max of 12 writers. What they ended up getting was for development rooms, if a development room of 3 or more writers is convened, minimum staff of 3 writer producers is required. Development rooms 20 weeks or longer, first season, minimum staff size of 3 writer producers. Subsequent seasons, minimum staff size is based on anticipated episode order. And then post greenlight rooms, the following minimum staff requirement apply based on the episode order, not useless, unless a single writer is employed to write all episodes of a season. So up to 6 episodes get 3 writers and 3 writer producers, 7 to 12 get 5 writers, 3 writer producers, 13 plus 6 writers, 3 writer producers. And for those who wonder what development versus post greenlight means, development means that the show hasn't been greenlit, but they're working on it. So this is like the initial, like that will be the initial writer's room for like making the initial first batches of the show, like at least like the pilot and the first few episodes, maybe, or the whole first season. Post greenlight is everything after that. So like consecutive seasons, or just in general, if they got to change up writers with like after they're greenlit, this is the rules of engagement as far as like how many people can be in a room. And then duration of employment also increased for all of the writers as well. And then as far as AI goes, and I'm on the official WGA site, so this is, you can find all this information on their official website of all their terms and things if you want to read through it for yourself. But as far as AI goes, the agreement is they get to regulate the use of artificial intelligence on NBA covered projects. AI generated written material is not considered literary material, source material, or assigned material under the NBA. AI is not a writer under the NBA. Writers can elect to use AI when performing writing services if company consents and provided writer follows applicable company policies. And the company cannot require writers to use AI software, as an example, ChatGPT or other things, when performing writing services. And the company must disclose to a writer if any material given to a writer has been generated by AI or incorporates AI generated material, in the case of stuff like rewrites, things like that. And also, I don't think it's said here, but also if a writer is rewriting an AI generated project, that writer would get the story credits, not whatever AI program they used for that respective script. So there's other things in there for
So
sure.
they
Increases
still could use AI, but they would just
yeah, which oh sorry,
rewrite
go
it.
ahead,
Yeah.
Jonathan.
Oh no, that was basically it. They would
Yeah,
just
I
like
mean,
make tweaks to it.
yeah, I mean, like, here's the thing. I think that both the actors and writers got the best deals they were possibly going to get with the AI thing because, like you said a couple weeks back, Cheddar is just
Oh, sorry.
is out here just shining on us.
Sorry.
Anyway,
Don't worry, it will be censored.
but like I think the writers and actors, like they were never going to get them to not use AI. It's a new technology, no different than CGI. The producers are going to use it, period. Like that's just a fact of life, especially as it gets more advanced and they can do a lot more things. Just channel I follow, Corridor Digital, they made an animated like short film using AI, and it looks damn near like they actually animated it themselves. They actually filmed themselves on green screen and used AI generators to make their bodies look like a certain anime style. And while it isn't perfect, it's damn near close. So, like, when you can do stuff like that, it makes sense why they would want to use AI as a technology to make new versions of media and maybe produce media in a faster way. It's just not being allowed to abuse it. That is, and it looks like through these deals that won't happen. Like there won't be the chance for them to abuse the technology to shortchange writers, shortchange actors, make their lives harder, or just outright cut their careers in general. So I feel like overall, that's like the best deal they could have possibly gotten in regards to the AI thing, because like it's only as it gets more advanced, producers are going to fight more to use it. It's just having those unions there to be the people to be like, hold on, wait a minute. You ain't just going to use this and cut us out entirely. Like we're going to figure something out.
Yeah, the whole biggest thing was also producers' biggest threat was the AI. That's what you heard the minute everybody's like, we're going on strike. Well, we can use the AI to replace you. So it's good that they got that written into contracts, being like, fine, you can use AI, but that's not going to replace me. There's more to everything. So I think it was very smart of them to get that. And you basically acknowledge the advancement in technology, that it's not something they can't escape from, because AI is being developed, it's being created, it's being used. So they acknowledge that, yeah, AI can't replace me. It's probably going to have to end up working side by side, with anything a human does. So it's good that they acknowledge that, and they're just not like, keep AI out of the entire situation. They're like, no, it's gonna get involved some way, somehow. So they're smart to add that part in.
So besides, like completely cut it off. It's like, okay, we're gonna use it, but we're gonna use it responsibly.
Yeah. And also another thing they didn't put in the agreement, but is a part of the agreement, is that they can't train AI either. At least on the WGA side. Actor side, I don't know if that's a thing, but they can't teach AI how to write scripts. Like it's like whatever you get is what you get, and then if you want it rewritten by an actual screenwriter, you have to hire a screenwriter, like a person, to rewrite it. That was a big thing that was like they were really worried about and wanted as a part of the deal, is that you cannot train AI either, at least not legally.
Not legally.
To replace us.
Yeah.
So both the WGA and SAG-AFTRA, I think, won out these deals. But at the same time, I don't think the AMPTP lost either. A lot of the numbers that the SAG-AFTRA and WGA were looking for, they didn't quite get. They got somewhere like in the middle between what the AMPT was asking for and what they were asking for. And I think that's probably like the best they could ask for, to be quite honest. And I think the biggest thing is that residuals have been increased for both writers and actors on streaming content, as well as I forgot to mention with the WGA, they increased how much they get a streaming bonus for viewership base. So like for the writers, it was, I don't know what the actors one is, but they get a bonus equal to or rather, sorry, I'll read the whole thing. Series like HBS VOD, which is like streaming services. I'm not going to give you the whole acronym, but series and movies that are viewed by 20% or more of the service's domestic subscribers in the first 90 days of release or the first 90 days of any subsequent exhibition year get a bonus equal to 50% of the fixed domestic and foreign residual. For example, for a project written under the 2023 MBA, the bonus would be equal to $9,031 for a half hour episode, $16,415 for a 1 hour episode, $40,500 for a streaming feature over $30 million in budget. The bonus structure takes effect for projects released on or after June 1st, 2024. And they get streaming data transparency to make sure those numbers are correct.
I was going to say, those streamers better not lie about those numbers.
Yeah, so they're that's also a part of the deals. Companies agree to provide the guilds, subject to a confidentiality agreement, the total number of hours streamed both domestically and internationally of self-produced high-budget streaming programs, i.e., Netflix original series, stuff like that. Aggregated information can also be shared. So also, as long as they sign that they're not going to release that information to somebody else, a studio can be like, hey, we want your numbers. so that we like, or certain producers can ask, we want your numbers so we know that these numbers are correct when we get these bonuses based off of how popular our show is. So like I think overall this has been a great, like the strike was worth it. I was listening to an interview from one of the writers on the WJS strike saying that they're glad SAG-AFTRA came with them because that's what really turned the tide, is when the actors striked and the writers striked, because that hasn't happened in a long time.
I think they
And
said 60 years almost.
yeah, so when that happened, that changed the game and made
It's like the days of Marilyn Monroe.
They made the producers like have to be like, oh man, we got to. At first, they weren't taking it seriously, but after a while,
which the time around Marilyn Monroe, there was a big shift in Hollywood that started where more actors were getting paid. They were not being stuck to be, acting in one production company. There wasn't contracting with one production company anymore, and things like that, bigger waves. They didn't really make that many changes for child actors, which that's something I wish would have been brought up more in the contracts.
They changed.
But
Yeah,
think
the Actors Guild. I think they the only thing they did for minors was the stuff with the set, like the regulations on self tapes and just auditions in general, like in regards to like nude scenes and things like that for the script, and how much time they get to with the script and things like that. But other than that, I don't think they changed much. But I think it's because there still is a lot of protections for minors as of late in regards to things like having intimacy coordinators on set for kids, as well as their parents are always allowed on set and things like that, especially if their parent is their agent. They're like, of course they're allowed on set because they're also like their business partner in a way.
I think a parent shouldn't be allowed to be an agent.
I think it depends on the parent, because there are some parents that are good agents for their kids and honestly do have their kids' best interest in mind. It's just a lot of the times the ones we hear about are the horror stories. But there have been some people who like their parents are their agent and they had a great childhood because their parent was there to be like, no, this role's too big for you, or no, you can't be on this set. I don't think it's a safe set for you, or whatever the case may be. And being there to be like, I'm here to make sure, yes, you have a functioning career, but also that you're taken care of, you're safe, and you get time to actually still be a child.
I think it just creates too much of a heavy power, not necessarily power imbalance, because there isn't a power imbalance with your parent. They're your parent, but more if it's just too much power to the parent.
Like a conflict of interest?
Yeah, definitely like a conflict of interest, which be like, well, yeah, now I'm so worried about my kid not being able to do this, even though this is something they really want to do. Now it's almost like you're holding them back too from a situation you have perceived as possibly dangerous when it may not have been, and it is something that could have, you know what I mean? There's just like one too many factors to like, I'm holding them back to, I'm not holding them back to, like, yeah, they may have furthered their career because they are a good parent, and this is always case by case, but I just feel like it gives too much power to the individual who already has a natural power over their child because they are the parent.
Well, some of those parents are momagers.
Yeah.
Are just in it because
they want to live up to their kids.
Yeah, they're just in it because they felt like their time passed and they wanted to do it when they were a kid, but they couldn't have the opportunity.
And that's where you get the people.
Like, let me just do it because I have my kids. Yeah.
But it like everybody's different because it's like, because it's a catch-22 for sure, and sometimes it's like you'll limit your child because you're being a little overprotective. At the same time, though, it's like I've heard so many stories of people who have had managers, and then managers are inappropriate when their kid gets older, or their manager is very hands-off, and then their kids have either bad experiences because they're on sets they really shouldn't have been on in the first place, or those kids just develop such huge egos because they have a manager who's just like, yes, 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 yes. And so the first time anybody tells them no, more specifically their own parents, they have this like attitude now of like, you can't tell me no, I'm famous. Like but you're also like 16. You
Yeah.
can't just do anything and do whatever you want just because you're on a TV show.
Before we finish up, I do want to go through some of the movies that were put on hold that with these strikes may have saved us from seeing these movies as well. Like, who's asking for Beetlejuice 2?
I am.
I was not. No.
I'm just kidding. I was not.
The Conjuring, The Last Rites. They need to stop with the Conjuring movies. 1 and 2, great. That last one, I don't know what the fuck that was, but that wasn't needed. Nobody needed that. Deadpool 3, Fantastic Four, Gladiator 2. Why? Why would the Gladiator 2?
One wasn't enough.
I remember when they said that, and I was like, he's dead. Who the hell's supposed to be in?
He literally walked off into the light, met his child. Karate Kid 2.
There's already a Karate Kid 2. Or do they mean a Karate Kid with Jaden Smith 2?
I don't know. This is just saying Karate Kid. It stopped. Pre-production suspended. And indefinitely.
Okay.
So we got saved from that. The Lilo and Stitch one. That one had promise, but then the actors they were choosing. The Minecraft movie.
Yeah.
What the fuck is the Minecraft movie?
Listen, we said the same thing about Barbie and
they're making Mattel is making a Hot Wheels movie, all those other movies that they're making based on Uno. They're making Uno.
What movies could come out of Hot Wheels? Like
Hot Wheels could make movies. They've already made them.
Figures you can walk around and move.
Animated movies of Hot Wheels.
What is Hot Wheels and what is Uno? Uno will, unless that movie's ending in a nuclear war, I don't see how an Uno movie's going to be very good.
Why nuclear?
Have you seen the new decks of Uno? I want to play them.
Oh, most people the plus 10s.
Yeah.
Plus 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a
they got their damn mind. They're trying to cause like the entire cities to go to war with each other.
Hence the nuclear option. Mortal Kombat 2. Nobody needs that.
Cole Young's story needs to just end, okay? End in the first one. We don't need no more. Unless he dies in the beginning of Mortal Kombat 2, I don't care.
Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Nobody needed it.
Now that I can actually...
I would have liked to see Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I was curious to see what they were going to do with Shadow. But yeah, because the second one was good. Second one
brought in like Tails, yeah, but like...
Yeah, Tails and Knuckles.
But
and everybody loves James Marsden.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also they left off with the after credit scene where Shadow is coming in, Shadow the Hedgehog, that's a whole really epic story in and of itself. So they had more story to do.
Twisters. Fuck you.
I forgot they were doing a sequel to Twister. It's not going to be the same without Bob Paxton, though.
No,
or Bill Paxton. I don't know who the hell Bob Paxton is. Bill Paxton.
At least it's
and then after that, they should make a movie based off of the game Twister.
Twister.
Well.
Okay.
That should be another horror. But how are you going to call it Twisters? Just at least it's not
simple.
The Twister.
We're going to put an S on the poster, and then it's going to be Twisters.
Well, I'm still mad at Suicide Squad and the Suicide Squad coming out within a couple years of each other.
Listen, that was the same as Final Destination and named both. Okay, they've done both of those.
And then they had different actors play different people.
What do you mean different actors? All of the roles that were in the first Suicide Squad movie, all of those actors reprised their roles in the next one. They just had a new cast of characters. But Margot Robbie, Joel Kinnaman, Jai Courtney, all of them are back. Like, what's it called? Viola Davis. All of them came back to be the same characters they were the first time. And then everybody else was new.
That's my point.
Mission Impossible 8. Why is he... What other missions are you having?
Because the first one was part 1. They need to do Dead Reckoning part 2. That comes out next year.
All right. Along with Fast X, the sequel.
Yeah, but at least Dead Reckoning earned their part 1. And it's like a complete movie. It almost doesn't need to be part 1, part 2. Like, the movie starts and ends.
Be a How to Train Your Dragon live action film. I'd watch that.
I heard about that.
I'd like that. I'll give them that.
I don't know. I
Fuck
love
you.
those movies. They're all good
Sorry.
movies, but I feel like it's a thing where I'm like, animation can do things that live action can't do. I know we're in a heyday right now of trying to turn animation projects into live action projects, but look, some things just need to stay animation, okay?
But like, thanks to House of the Dragon, dragons are looking really nice. I can see
I'm not worried about the dragons. I'm worried about the set design of all the characters.
It's most of How to Train Your Dragon is a small village and like a forest. Set designs. Let me rephrase that. Set design should not be complicated for that film. Whether it will be or not is a whole different story.
Not
It's
complicated. I mean, it's just it looks cute. The way the animation looks cute, looks sweet, it looks wholesome. And now they're going to make it all dark and gritty, and regular people can't look as charming as these animated characters. No, they're not going to get someone as big and oafish as Hiccup's dad, who's like just a giant of a man.
David Batiste.
I don't think Dave Bautista would do it. But I mean, sure, he is a giant of a man. So I guess
all shoulders. Transformers Untitled. I thought we were done with Transformers. I thought it was.
Well, no, they've rebooted the franchise now with it's not Michael Bay doing them anymore. It's a new guy. I watched Rise of the Beast. It wasn't great though. It was okay. It was all right.
I do want the Wicked movie. I do want to see Wicked in a movie. I'll give them that.
The Avatars.
Yeah.
Avatar's 3 and 4. They were already pushed back anyway. Nobody was looking for those to come out on time.
Moana, Mufasa, The Lion King. They were going to do a Mufasa movie? Oh my god, I would watch that.
Not with James Earl Jones though. It's a young Mufasa, so a new actor.
Oh. I don't know then. And then all the American Horror Stories got pushed back, of course, for movies.
They still released one, I think.
Have any of you seen any scenes from Chucky, the show?
Yeah, it's good.
No.
I've watched bits and pieces of it recently. I guess the most recent seasons. What the fuck did they do to Chucky? That is not the doll I grew up with. That is not the horse. What the hell is that? The clip I saw, he was in a doctor's office.
Oh, no, he's been reincarnated. Like, there's multiple versions of him in the show. So there's the doll, and then there's also some other versions of him running around. His spirit has transferred into other bodies and things like that.
No, he was in the doll, and they're like, well, you can't transfer out anymore. You're dying. Because, like, you participated in an exorcism, which involves Christianity. You've turned your back on your last, blah, blah, blah. But the, like, doctor grabbed his little doll parts and was like, turn your head and cough. I was like, what is this?
Listen,
I was trying not to be vulgar.
It's a campy TV show now. All right. But he looks fine. Imagine, like, he's been looking like that for a while in the show.
It's supposed to be campy. It's child's play.
Are you kidding? Wait, it's not supposed to be campy.
No. It looks campy now. No, in the 90s, all 90s movies look campy.
Into a doll.
All 90s movies look campy nowadays.
This doll has the strength of a man to choke people out with his little baby hands that can't even wrap around an entire throat. For real. How is he choking people?
When's the last time you held a baby? They got some strong ass grips.
They do.
It's not that strong, Alex. Okay, you know full well.
You know what? It's because you don't have long hair. When babies get a hold of your hair, they ain't letting go.
Hair
but
is not a neck.
But if you think, it's just like an ant, like how they can hold like their twice, 10 times their body weight or whatever the saying is. Not the same, but whatever the fact is.
I like how you gave up like halfway through the sentence. Like whatever.
But what was my point? Oh yeah. How a baby, they might be able to grip like, and if it was proportional to how we grip, it'd be like superhuman strength. Listen, so you never know.
Y'all trying to make this work.
We're talking about your hand.
We're talking about a franchise in which, like before we even got to the TV show, this man has had a bride. He's made a child. He's had a cult. Literally, he's had enough sperm to make a damn child. Okay, as a doll. The Chucky's been campy for decades now. All right, this ain't new.
He is not. Screw you. Apparently, Euphoria has the delayed release date
to 2025. I heard that.
Yeah. So, but they're coming back apparently. So is the interview with the vampire.
Well, you know what?
The Last of Us.
Maybe Sam Levinson will have some extra time to really make it good this time because Euphoria season 2.
Or maybe they just need to let Euphoria go.
No, they're not going to do that. It makes them too much money. It makes them far too much money.
Fair enough.
Unless Zendaya says, "Hey, I'm good."
That's the only way it was shut down. And even then, I don't know. Maybe they might.
They might do a spinoff.
They might recast Rue or something.
I think I could see either Maddie or Cassie with the spinoff. But I think Sydney Sweeney's too booked and busy. She might do a spinoff.
She's everywhere now. She's been getting a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
Last of Us and One Piece, which is something I want to start watching. We're just talking about that. Pitch Perfect bumper in Berlin. Is Pitch Perfect a show?
It is a show, but it's about Bumper. It's not about the normal group of girls.
Who's
it's about
Bumper?
He's the dude who was like the head of the like all men a cappella group in the second one. He's the main character of this show, and he goes to Berlin and tries to like do an
like because he's like
yeah, who's like he becomes like a solo act, but he's like intimidated because he's never been to Germany and like the music scene is different there, and so now he has to like learn the ropes again and become a star and stuff. It looks cute, but it's like it's not Pitch Perfect. If you're hoping for more of like Anna Kendrick and the gang, they ain't there. This is not that.
I was not. So I was just surprised they made a show. I'm surprised, but I shouldn't be. I'm looking at some of this stuff on the list. I shouldn't be. The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live. So I guess Harry Potter's in The Walking Dead now. What I feel like I'm getting from that title.
Don't ask me. I'm not the Walking Dead guy. I've never seen a single episode of any of their shows. I've read the books, though.
Stopped watching after Carl died.
I was, season 8, I think. That's when I stopped. Now they have. I'm tempted to come back to it for the new for the Rick and Michonne series.
Is Rick coming back? Have they found out Rick's alive?
That's when I stopped watching. When that's about.
You're not going to watch Daryl Dixon?
I have been tempted to watch Daryl Dixon one.
Or Dead City?
Not Dead City. Although Negan. I think it was during the movie The Rampage. It's nice to say movies again without feeling bad. Rampage, which had Jeffrey Dean Morgan. And that's when I pointed out he has a lean to him. He's always tilted. Mm-hmm. It's not just the Negan thing.
I remember he was pretty much Negan in that movie.
Yeah. I'm just like surprised that man hasn't fallen backwards.
He's supposed to be Batman. That's a shame. Because he played Thomas.
He's a Seahawks fan.
He played Thomas Wayne in Batman v Superman, and the plan was when they were going to do Flashpoint, like back when Zack Snyder was still at the helm, was when they, or at least the hope anyway. Like this was never confirmed, but in the Flashpoint story in the comics, Thomas Wayne, like Flash goes back in time, save his mom, whatever, causes a ripple through time that changes events. And one of the events that's changed in that story is that the bullet curves, like the ripple in time moves the bullet a few inches to the left. And so instead of Bruce's parents dying, he dies. And Thomas loses his mind. Like Thomas takes out vengeance and becomes Batman. And his mom, Martha, loses her mind and becomes the Joker.
I've seen panels of that where she's like her face is covered and then it's a smile.
Yeah. So the two, and then the two of them battle in this eternal struggle of the Joker versus Batman.
See, that feels like even better. Some films affected by their release dates. Apparently, the new Captain America: Brave New World is now set for 2025. Bob Marley's movie, One Love.
That's still on schedule, right? To come out in 2024? Because it was already,
but it was pushed out a month. That's coming on Valentine's Day. It kind of feels more fitting.
I thought it was weird. It was coming out in February. I was like, really? Okay.
was supposed to come out in January. Now it's coming out in February. Dune Part 2. Everybody knows that one. Godzilla versus Kong, The New Empire. Didn't they already fight?
Yeah, exactly. Keep it.
Like, was there already a thing?
Yeah,
Mufasa's
but they're doing it again this time.
Quiet Place, A Day One. I didn't even know that was a movie.
It sounds like a prequel.
It is a prequel, but I think it's not the same
Prequels.
characters. I think it's a different set of characters, like their perspective on the first day of the invasion.
SpongeBob movie, Search for SquarePants. Apparently, SpongeBob is going missing, huh?
Wow. We'll have to watch that 2 years after that comes out.
Comes out in 2025. So yeah, 2
Okay.
years. You're right. You were right on the point. Of course, the lovely Snow White movie that has been talked positively about.
Yes,
lately.
so many people
I've
are
not
so
heard
excited for that movie.
Not heard a single bad word about that movie.
I think it's just so funny, all the controversy around that movie, or rather the actresses in that movie, because I'm like, half the people complaining, I'm like, you act like you were going to watch it anyway. You weren't going to see Snow White. And
like
if you
Snow White was
were,
one of the favorite princesses too.
right?
Like, you gotta
But if
defend her.
Like the people who are like, the movie's not outdated. First of all, yes, it is. And secondly, even if it isn't, why do you care? When's the last time you thought about Snow White before this?
Snow White of all. I mean, I won't lie. I'll even give more credit to Sleeping Beauty. More people like her. Snow White was stupid. No, Sleeping Beauty was stupid too. Both of them be touching things they shouldn't be touching in those movies. Hands to yourself. Not that hard. Welcome to Derry. Oh, this is an It show.
Is that It? I was about to say It. It sounds like It.
It serves as a prequel to the series It. Oh, but the 2017-2019 version.
My thing is, why?
Interesting.
That's not the important part of the story. All this is going to be is kids dying. I mean, no, nothing's going to happen to Pennywise. So what exactly is there to know? That's like new information that we aren't getting from the two movies that are exist.
We only got a little background. Maybe we find out when he first came to Earth. Maybe we find out why the parents are so willing to accept their children just going missing.
Well, they always imply, at least in the books, they always imply that it's because like Pennywise has like made the parents forget or not, or be oblivious to what's happened. Like they can't see what's happening. Only the kids can see what's happening, which is why the kids are the only ones who interact.
Right. And they can see what's happening, but they don't. But you stay in the town and you remember stuff. It's when you leave that town, you forget everything. Because that's what they implied in the movies and the books. But if you're staying in that town and you remember all these kids disappearing, you don't remember the circumstances, but you're like, 25 years ago, my little brother disappeared. I think I'm going to keep a closer eye on my child. You know? At least I feel like that's what rational people would think like.
Yeah, but also adults are creatures of habit. If in 25 years nothing like that happens for a while, you honestly would forget. You'd be like, it's been 25 years. We haven't had an incident since then. I'm sure it's fine.
Fair enough. That's how we get a lot of the movies and shows we have now as parents, just dismissing things.
Those who don't know their history are doing to repeat it. And so it's just like, if after a while nothing's happened, you're just like, well, nothing's happened for a while, so it's all good. Ask the mayor in Jaws.
That's true. Fair point. Okay. So those were some of the movies and TV shows that have been pushed back, put on hold, or gone indefinitely into the standstill box.
Also on that list is Daredevil and Blade, both of those.
Also
I didn't see Blade on there. I saw Daredevil. I didn't see Blade.
Also Challenger.
Well, that's because Blade was already delayed anyway. And that's true. Challengers also was delayed.
Challenger is like the spaceship?
No, it's the Zendaya movie.
The tennis movie.
Oh.
I love the people who are joking. They're like, send this to Tom Holland immediately. Zendaya out here smashing 2 white boys.
Getting double teamed.
Right?
Oh, yeah, I remember that. See, that I remember. Because it
I was
came
like,
right around
that's
the time.
mean. All right, it's a movie. He knows she loves him.
Yeah, but then people came back with clips of when Tom Holland's playing a gay guy, him getting smashed in the bathroom.
Oh yeah, that's
They're
true.
like, Tom Holland's he's got other things to worry about. Be like,
but yeah, there you go.
Well,
So that's our
our
breakdown of the strikes. Let us
SAG
know what you're
episode.
thinking.
Strike episode. We're happy it's
Yeah.
over.
We are happy it's over. We're glad, but more importantly, we're happy everybody. Well, I don't care if the AMPTP is happy, but I am glad that the WGA and the SAG-AFTRA unions are both happy, and I think they both got deals that were, while they weren't everything they asked for, were a nice deal for them nonetheless, and they got a good chunk of what they're looking for and what they needed at the very least. So that's good. So comment below. Tell us what you think about all the details of the strikes. If you're excited that, with these new deals and regulations and things like that, your favorite actors and actresses and writers are going to get better deals and things like that. Or if you are an aspiring writer or actor or actress, that for you, you're like, hey, yeah, I'm glad this has happened because now I feel more confident in going into my career as a creative. So, let us know what you think in the comments below, or email us at thefirstoneToDie@gmail.com and tell us what you're thinking. But until then, socials, Jonathan, go.
Yes, you can follow me at Jonathan Keys on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you please. You can find us at The First Ones to Die on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're watching us on YouTube, please give us a like and subscribe. Also, comment below. Let us know your thoughts. If you are listening to us, go ahead and give us 5 stars and a review on your favorite podcast platform. Tell us what you think about the strikes. I'm just happy that people are going to have more hope when it comes to this business, because there's not a lot. Well, there's a lot, but there's sometimes it feels like there's not a lot. So hopefully now it could feel like there is more. What I appreciate is that there's been a conversation opened about how you're not alone. A lot of people, particularly actors and writers, I feel like I know a lot of people who maybe thinking this business might not be for me. I might not be talented enough, but this has gone to show that a lot of people are in the same boat. So, hopefully that cheers people up in that way and can provide some hope. Alex.
You can find me at Alex and Nobody on Instagram and on TikTok, as well as the podcast TikTok, The First Ones to Die. And actually, something I forgot to mention was that I went and bought some books earlier today, one being Stephen King, The Night Shift, where he wrote The Boogeyman, and some other great books. And I bought this from a sale from the Seattle Public Library, Friends with the Library. It's a really great way to learn when you can buy used books or how to donate used books. Just wanted to get that a shout out because we support we support programs and such as our local library. So go get books from there, donate books, look into whatever programs your libraries have, keep them alive. They're, benefiting so many people. It's all for me. What about you, Jerome? Where are we finding you?
You can find me at Not Jerome Red on Instagram. And also, if you get a chance, like we mentioned before, go on over to the YouTube channel and you can check out video versions of all the podcasts, see a lot of visual stuff, but also check out other things that you can't get on the audio streaming platforms, like the pet says you can see right now if you're looking at the YouTube version. But also you can get vlogs, gaming videos, mini reviews, which now that the strikes are over, mini reviews are going to start coming back out again, so be on the lookout for those. But also book reviews, vlog content, all types of stuff on the YouTube channel at The First Ones to Die. So go on over there to YouTube, subscribe, like, favorite, share, all that good stuff. Or at the very least, just comment, when you see the videos or whatever, and turn on the notification bell. So at least when things are happening. If you watch enough videos, we'll be in your algorithm, so you'll see us anyway. But still, go on over there. We promise you will not be disappointed. You'll have a great time. And yeah. Tune in next week for something.
Hey.
We don't know yet, but we'll figure it out. And we will see you guys for the next one. Take care. Have a good night, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're watching this. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Go on over to the YouTube channel at The First Ones to Die to see all the fun stuff we got going on here, like mini reviews, book reviews, gaming videos, vlogs, all types of stuff.
Please follow us at The First Ones to Die everywhere. Go ahead and give us a like and subscribe.